Welcome to our deep dive into one of the most mysterious and controversial phenomena, spontaneous human combustion, or SHC. This bizarre phenomenon, which has captivated the human imagination for centuries, involves the seemingly impossible. A human being bursting into flames, seemingly out of nowhere. Today we'll explore some of the most intriguing cases and the scientific investigations surrounding them. From charred remains found amidst untouched surroundings to conflicting eyewitness accounts, we'll delve into the heart of these fiery mysteries. Join me as we navigate the line between scientific skepticism and unexplained phenomena, attempting to unravel the truth behind spontaneous human combustion. Our journey begins in December of 1966 in the quiet town of Combustion, Pennsylvania. It was here that the smoldering remnants of John Irving Bentley, a retired physician, were discovered by a meter reader. The scene was peculiar, to say the least. Bentley's body was found in his bathroom, reduced almost entirely to ash. The only part of him left unscathed was a portion of his leg and his slippered foot, resting eerily upon the floor. The rest of the bathroom, however, remained remarkably untouched by the fire. The image of Bentley's near-complete incineration, juxtaposed against the undisturbed bathroom, is a chilling testament to the perplexing nature of SHC. How could a fire, intense enough to consume a human body, leave the surrounding area relatively unharmed? The official cause of death was listed as death by asphyxiation due to the inhalation of flames, with the source of the fire attributed to Bentley's habit of smoking a pipe. However, many found this explanation unsatisfactory. Could a simple pipe truly ignite such an inferno, leaving behind such a peculiar scene? The case of John Irving Bentley, with its unanswered questions and unsettling details, serves as a stark introduction to the baffling world of spontaneous human combustion. It is a case that underscores the very essence of this enigma, a fiery demise shrouded in mystery and seemingly defying the laws of nature. Our next stop takes us to the sweltering heat of St. Petersburg, Florida, in July of 1951. Here we encounter the perplexing case of Mary Reeser, a 67-year-old widow found reduced to ashes in her armchair. The scene was one of utter devastation. Reeser's remains were discovered by her landlady, who was alerted by the intense heat emanating from the apartment. Upon entering, she was met with a scene of complete destruction, a blackened circle on the floor, a pile of ash, and a shrunken skull resting amidst the debris. The intense heat of the fire had literally melted a nearby electrical outlet and fused metal objects together. Yet strangely, the rest of the apartment remained relatively untouched by the flames. The armchair, though reduced to springs, stood as an eerie reminder of Reeser's final moments. Initial speculation pointed towards SHC, fueled by the seemingly impossible nature of the fire. How could a fire burn so hot and so contained, leaving the rest of the apartment largely unscathed? The lack of a clear ignition source only deepened the mystery. However, the FBI, called in to investigate the case, proposed a different explanation. They suggested that Reeser, a known sleeping pill user, had fallen asleep with a lit cigarette, igniting her flammable acetate nightgown. This, they argued, could explain the intensity and rapid spread of the fire. Despite the FBI's investigation, the case of Mary Reeser remains a source of debate. The sheer intensity of the fire, the localized nature of the damage, and the lack of a definitive ignition source continue to fuel speculation about the possibility of SHC. Our exploration of spontaneous human combustion takes us next to the village of Fecal, County Clare, Ireland, in March of 1970. It is here that we encounter the tragic case of Margaret Hogan, an 89-year-old widow found almost entirely consumed by fire within her own home. Hogan, who lived alone, was found by her neighbor, who had become concerned after not seeing her for a few days. Upon entering Hogan's home, the neighbor was met with a scene of devastation. Hogan's body was found lying on the floor, burned beyond recognition. The fire had been intense, leaving behind little more than ashes and a few charred bones. Strangely, the only other sign of fire in the house was a small, smoldering pile of coal in the fireplace. The rest of the room, while bearing the marks of smoke and heat damage, remained largely intact. The peculiar circumstances surrounding Hogan's death immediately sparked speculation about SHC. The intensity of the fire, the lack of a clear connection to the nearby coal fire, and the localized nature of the damage all pointed towards an unexplained phenomenon. Adding to the mystery was the fact that Hogan, despite her age, was still quite mobile and mentally alert. This made it unlikely that she had accidentally fallen into the fireplace or had been careless with an open flame. Despite a thorough investigation, authorities were unable to determine the exact cause of the fire that claimed Margaret Hogan's life. The case remains unsolved to this day, leaving many to wonder if the elderly widow had fallen victim to the baffling phenomenon of spontaneous human combustion. Our journey into the heart of spontaneous human combustion leads us next to the bustling city of London, England, in November of 1979. It is here that we encounter the perplexing case of Beatrice Otzke, a 51-year-old woman found charred to death in her armchair. Otzke, who lived alone, was found by her son, who had become concerned after being unable to reach her by phone. Upon entering her apartment, he was met with a scene of utter devastation. His mother's body was slumped in the armchair, burned beyond recognition. The fire had been intense, leaving behind little more than a pile of ash and bone fragments. Strangely, the armchair itself, though badly damaged, was still somewhat intact. The rest of the room, while bearing the marks of smoke and heat damage, remained largely untouched by the flames. The circumstances surrounding Otzke's death were eerily familiar to other suspected cases of SHC. The intensity of the fire, the localized nature of the damage, and the lack of a clear ignition source all pointed towards an unexplained phenomenon. Adding to the mystery was the fact that Otzke had been a heavy smoker and drinker. Some speculated that this could have played a role in her demise, perhaps making her more susceptible to spontaneous combustion. However, no concrete evidence could be found to support this theory. The official cause of Otzke's death was recorded as unascertained, leaving the door open to speculation about the possibility of SHC. To this day, her case remains a source of debate, a chilling reminder of the mysteries that lie hidden within the human body. Our exploration of spontaneous human combustion takes us to 1980, to the home of Henry Thomas, a 73-year-old man in Westbourne, West Sussex, England. Thomas's death provided a unique opportunity to study SHC. He was found almost entirely consumed by fire, except for his skull and lower legs. The rest of him was reduced to ashes, and the chair he sat in was destroyed. Despite the fire's intensity, the room had minimal damage. Investigators proposed the wick effect to explain his death. This theory suggests the body can act like a candle, with clothing as the wick and body fat as fuel. An external source ignites the clothing, and body fat feeds the flames. This slow combustion can consume the body over hours. While plausible, the wick effect doesn't explain all SEC cases. It remains one of the most accepted explanations for SIC, highlighting the potential for the body to fuel a fire intense enough to consume itself. Our final stop on this exploration of spontaneous human combustion takes us to December 2010, to Galway, Ireland, where we encounter the perplexing case of Michael Faherty, a 76-year-old man found dead in his home. Faherty's case was officially classified as spontaneous combustion. He was found by a neighbor who had come to check on him. The fire was contained to a small area around Faherty's body. The rest of the room remained relatively untouched. The Gardaí ruled out foul play. The fire department couldn't find an ignition source. Coroner Dr. Kieran McLaughlin supported this conclusion. He recorded the cause of death as spontaneous combustion. This marked a rare official attribution to this phenomenon. Dr. McLaughlin emphasized the evidence pointed towards this explanation. He highlighted the localized fire, lack of ignition source, and intense heat. The case of Michael Faherty remains a mystery. It serves as a testament to the enduring power of spontaneous human combustion to both captivate and confound. While the scientific community remains skeptical, the cases we've discussed continue to fuel the debate around spontaneous human combustion. The lack of conclusive evidence and the absence of a universally accepted explanation leave the door open for speculation and intrigue. Thank you for joining us on this journey into one of the most perplexing mysteries of the human body. From the charred remains of John Irving Bentley to the official classification of Michael Flaherty's death as spontaneous combustion, we've explored the chilling stories and the scientific attempts to understand this fiery phenomenon. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more intriguing content. And until next time, keep asking questions, keep exploring the unknown, and never stop seeking the truth, no matter how elusive it may seem.